But one of the biggest elements is we protect our sea turtles. Sea turtle nesting season's 8 months a year. We partner with the Nova Institute to make sure that our beach is walked every single morning before we put a single chair or umbrella out to make sure there's no new nests, there's no new hatchlings or anything. And if there are, we protect them.
Every great travel journey begins with a question. Where to next? And how do we protect what makes it beautiful? Welcome to the Conscious Check-In, the podcast where sustainable hospitality, unforgettable travel, and bold conservation stories collide. I'm your host, Amy Wald, and this is your Conscious Check-In. Welcome back to the Conscious Check-In, everyone. I'm Amy, your host, and we are with the TJ Pierri from Pelican Beach Resort in Fort Lauderdale, and we're here live at the Independent Hotel Show. How are you?
I'm great and happy to be here. So excited.
So excited too. You've been on the circuit. Yeah. You've been on a lot of podcasts lately, and I know there's so many reasons, so we're going to get into all that.
Absolutely.
I want to first ask a couple of fun questions.
All right.
Set the stage.
Let's do it.
All right. So if you had to pick one animal that really represented how you move through the world or how you lead a hospitality team, what would it be, TJ?
You know, there's a story I tell to all my leadership team every time I start a new property, and it's about lessons from a geese. And so geese typically fly in a pattern of V formation where there's one person out front that takes the brunt of all the effort and you know, really leads the pack. But the minute that one goose gets tired, it kind of falls back in line to the end, and another one steps up and takes the front for a while everybody else rests. And then if one falls down because it got hurt or injured, another one actually falls down with it to make sure that it's protected, and then they rejoin the group later in life. So I always believe in, you know, that's my style and that's my animal, is to really work as a team where everybody has their position, but the minute someone needs help, your team's there to step up and help you when you need it. And that we're always going to maintain our formation and go to the same place together.
I could kiss you right now. Okay, animals are like my thing, and I'm always blown away by the answers because they're so thoughtful, and that is such a great, it's such a great way to lead through the world. And don't be mean to geese. Geese are awesome.
Great.
So many people in Ohio, they're, a nuisance. But anyway, we won't go into that. That's a different conversation. Okay, awesome answer. So next one is, if you were heading on vacation, going to some incredible destination, and you walked into the room and you found something in your mini bar that was your favorite snack, favorite drink, what would it be that would make you think, they are spying on me at home? How could they possibly know that this is my go-to drink or snack?
Oh my gosh. There is this one candy bar that I've only found in certain stores, and it's a combination of caramel and toffee called Toffee. Oh my gosh. And it is my weakness every time I see it. Sometimes it comes in the big boxes. Sometimes it comes in the little bars, like there's only 2 or 3 of them. I can't help myself. When I see it, it's my kryptonite.
I love that. I love a mini bar. I think it just really tells you so much about a hotel and the care and the thought they put into it. Is there something in your mini bar at the Pelican? Or do you have mini bars?
We do.
Yeah. Is there something that you really like that's a standout in there?
Well, we do a lot of pre-mixed beverages in there.
Okay.
It's kind of gone away, have the little mini bottles of alcohol and things like that. And so we definitely provide a more curated mini bar that's thoughtful, and so especially those that aren't necessarily drinking alcohol. So we do have those pre-mixed drinks that don't include alcohol, but we have the alcohol in the mini bar to go along with it. So you can get a Mai Tai without alcohol. You can get, a variety of different Cosmo without alcohol, various things like that. But the alcohol is in the mini bar if you want to add it to it.
That's so important to be inclusive in that, because a lot of people aren't drinking these days.
Exactly.
It's not me yet, but maybe one of these days.
You're good company, me either.
Hoteliers, ready to boost your guest satisfaction, elevate your sustainability, and make your housekeeping stars happier, all with one simple switch? Clean Core Solutions transforms ordinary tap water into a powerful, chemical-free cleaner through pure aqueous ozone technology.
It meets the same rigorous COVID cleanliness standards your brand demands, but without the chemicals, fumes, or waste. Housekeepers love it because it's safer and simpler. Guests notice the difference: fresher air, no artificial scents, just pure clean. And ownership, they see the savings. This single system slashes chemical orders, storage, and transport, reducing not only operational costs, but environmental impact by up to 97%. Whether you manage a boutique hotel or a full-scale resort, Clean Core Solutions helps you clean smarter for your people, your guests, and for the planet. Learn more at cleancoresol.com. That's CLEANCORESOL.com.
All right. So I would love to talk about your career. You've had a really successful career in hospitality. So will you take us, give us the cliff notes on what those stepping stones look like and how you came to be the general manager working at the Pelican?
Sure. I'm come from a very blessed background. I'm very, very fortunate. Every property that I've been at has been, just a blessing in disguise. The people I've met, the impact that I've had, the impact on my life. I grew up in a hospitality family. My parents in upstate New York, way outside the city, in Corning, New York, had a restaurant. My uncle had a restaurant. Great uncles had restaurants and bars. So I grew up in the restaurant field. And when I went to school actually for medicine and thought I wasn't going to do hospitality. But it was too much in my DNA. And as I found myself, I started out as a management trainee with Hyatt hotels in Chicago. And that's really where I got bitten by the bug.
Okay.
I had a blessing to move around with Hyatt, Hyatt Regency Chicago, Hyatt Regency Miami, Park Hyatt in Beaver Creek, helped to open a couple properties. So I was, a really great experience. And during those times, the hotel industry was booming. So people in my area were really sought after to just kind of grow and take the next step and the next step. And eventually I worked my way through food and beverage as well as rooms side of it. And then, how I found myself here is I started working for Noble House about 8 or 9 years ago. And I came in to fill in for an open position here at the Pelican Grand Beach Resort in Fort Lauderdale. And I arrived on property February 28th of 2020, 3 weeks before the pandemic blew up. I was supposed to fill in for a couple of weeks. A couple of weeks turned into a couple of months. But it's, again, one of those things that life was pushing you in a certain direction. I was currently the general manager at the Hotel Zoe in San Francisco, and I, again, was only supposed to be here for a couple of weeks. And a couple of weeks turned into something permanent, and it's been 6 years now, and it's been an amazing 6 years. So,
wow,
incredible.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I feel like the pandemic either made you a better leader and it highlighted your leadership skills, or it kind of broke you.
You had to bend, you had to be on top of the daily. It was something we've never seen before. There was no manual, there was no instructions. It was so different for every single hotel, every single state, completely a different experience. What we experienced here in Florida was nothing what anybody else experienced in any other state.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, it is the wild, wild west. So, but the pandemic, so many people suffered, but as far as an industry, right, the hospitality industry and I feel like the healthcare industry were the ones that really suffered, obviously, the most. So, way to go.
Yeah,
Let's see you make
thank
it
you,
through.
thank you.
Hotel budgets are tighter than ever, and cleaning supplies are one of the easiest places to make a big impact fast. Clean Core Solutions replaces dozens of traditional chemicals with one refillable system that uses only water and oxygen. It meets the same safety and sanitation standards your guests expect, the same rigor we demanded after COVID, but without fumes, fragrances, or risk. By removing chemical shipping, storage, and waste, Clean Core slashes operational costs and your carbon footprint. And because those chemicals are some of the biggest contributors to indoor air pollution and water contamination, the switch protects both your team and the ecosystems outside your door. It's sustainability with a business case. Safer, smarter, and better for your bottom line. Discover more at cleancoresol.com. That's CleanCoresol.com.
Okay, so let's talk more about Noble House has a really unique DNA. What is it about the Noble House hotels that really got their finger on the pulse when it comes to hospitality, guest experience, and those kind of things?
It's a bunch of wonderful things. We're family owned and family operated. So really taking that personal approach. The family has stayed involved and really has identified properties that were unique to their market, could really bring a unique experience, a curated experience for guests. Really were in the right situation, the right size. And so it wasn't a race for Noble House to get a mass volume of properties, but they really took their time and picked the right properties to be part of, whether they purchased them or whether they just took the management agreement with them. But they really chose iconic destinations where we could be authentically local. So what we do here in Fort Lauderdale at the Pelican Grand Beach Resort is something completely different than Auberge does in San Diego market, or that the Napa Terrace does in Napa. So just again, we are all authentically local, but it's also our core values in helping to identify the type of people that work at Noble House. To really identify those that celebrate hospitality, that it's very authentic in them, it's natural, that provides diverse backgrounds and experiences. They really help to curate those experiences at all the different hotels and resorts that our guests have come to love and continue to come back for year after year after year.
You hear a lot about values these days, and sometimes it gets thrown around easily, but I feel like especially the hospitality organizations that are making it a priority to have values and have it top down are the ones that are successful. And it sounds like that's what Noble House is doing.
It is. And as Noble House grows, we've evolved our core values to make sure they match the direction that we're going and to make sure that we're displaying that message of who we are and who we're attracting, both from a guest standpoint and a leader and team member standpoint. And, we at the core of them, one of our core values is happy to help. The purest of basic of hospitality is happy to help.
Yeah.
That's why we're all here.
Yep.
We want to serve.
Yep.
We want to, partake in that servant leadership style of experience.
I love that. Okay, so let's talk specifically about the Pelican. Fort Lauderdale is a monster of a destination. And so to stand out, they kind of go through hotels very often, new branding or a new build. So let's talk about what is really special about staying at Pelican. And how have you seen Fort Lauderdale really evolve to be able to meet guest expectations and make it a chosen destination?
Sure. It's so interesting. I'll start with the Pelican Grand and how unique it is. It's one of the only properties that are directly on the beach in Fort Lauderdale. Many of the properties are across the road or up the street, with beach access, but you walk out our back doors and your feet are in the sand. We're also the only lazy river in town. So you want to, whether it's for the kids or the adults, both are welcome to grab a tube and jump in and just, float away for the day. And we're at the quieter end of A1A in Fort Lauderdale, so it's a little bit more tranquil where we are, and so we're appealing to those that want a little more of that quietness. But above and beyond that, it's really the staff that I have, the staff that has been there for years and years, and just are passionate about the Pelican. Love seeing our guests, and we have guests that come back year after year, generations of when they came with their parents or their grandparents and so forth, and now they're bringing their kids here and so really, that's the uniqueness. We have Oceans 2000 dining on the veranda right on the ocean. We're one of the only restaurants right on the ocean to dine, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, where you're eating and having coffee and drinking wine as the waves crash right in front of you. So it's just such an experience. There's so much to experience there, as well as Pier Spa, our rooftop spa, couples room where you and your partner or your friend are overlooking the ocean as you're getting massages or skin treatments. There's just so many amazing uniquenesses to the Pelican Grand that make it special, but at the core of it all, it's the people, it's the team members that are there.
So that was a perfect segue to my next question, because I feel like we are really starting to see travelers make decisions based on legacy. If you're going back year after year, if you're taking your children, your grandchildren, you really want to be staying somewhere and associating and spending your money with a place that's doing the right thing. And you just recently received a Green Key Global certification. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is not easy to do. But when you talk about legacy, take me through that process. What made you decide to take that step, and what was the most challenging part of, adopting all those sustainability practices?
So first and foremost, Green Key is a phenomenal partner. It is a great certification, great accolade, but they are a wonderful partner that actually helped us go through that process and really helped educate us more than what we had thought we already knew. And we thought we knew a lot, as we do in hotel world, but they really helped guide us through the process and get us across the finish line. In our building, it was built in 2004. So there are some elements to the building that are probably not as easy to build sustainability around as if you were building a brand new building today from scratch. So for us, we were able to really go through those certifications or those requirements and really understand what we were already doing when it came to recycling, to water conservation, when it came to towel reusing, housekeeping, minimalization. We have a property management system that can determine, when people are in their room or not. So it helps to regulate the temperature of the room, to drop it or raise it depending on the time of year. So that we're more efficient when it comes to our electric power and so forth. But one of the most recent ones that we did is we partnered with Ride Circuit. Circuit's very present in a lot of cities, and they've been a phenomenal partner for us. Our team member parking is not on site, which is the same for many hotels. I wish we had more parking, and if I had the magic wand, that's what I would wish for. But we don't have more parking, and so we secured parking off site. So I have partnered with Ride Circuit as a shuttle for our team members, but not only is it a shuttle for our team members, now I actually can utilize it as a dinner shuttle for my guests. They'll take my guests anywhere they want to go between Lauderdale by the Sea and Las Olas Boulevard. So it's just a phenomenal benefit. It's 100% electric. It's a beautiful shuttle. It's wrapped with our brand on it. Again, they're a wonderful partner of ours, and we see this just evolving going down the road as well.
And you really touched on something so important. Of course, sustainability is about the environment, especially when you're on the beach.
Yes.
I mean, we have so much to lose if we don't protect these ecosystems, but it's about people too. And it's not just about, I think people think human resources, but giving your employees that opportunity to have a safe, quick, easy, reliable ride to work is part of sustainability. So kudos to you for thinking of that. And now you've hit all those pillars because the guest experience is brought into that. And that's really when sustainability works at its best.
Oh, it is. And as you said, travelers are making conscious decisions on where they're going because of those elements, whether it's sustainability or other elements. And the beach is our number one amenity. That's why people come to the Pelican. They want to be on the beach. They want to put their feet in the sand. They want to put their feet in the ocean. But one of the biggest elements is we protect our sea turtles. Sea turtle nesting seasons 8 months a year. We partner with the Nova Institute to make sure that our beach is walked every single morning before we put a single chair or umbrella out, to make sure there's no new nests, there's no new hatchlings or anything. And if there are, we protect them. We move our operation around that element to make sure that we're protecting those sea turtles and the environment on the beach.
And that's really the goal of this podcast, is to get people so engaged in nature that they want to take care of it, not only on a trip, but when they go back home. And you're helping to do that. So I'm really grateful for that. But, hoteliers are still having issues. They're coming upon hurdles adopting sustainability. So if you could think of one tool or one thing or something that would have made your journey easier, can you think of anything that would help hoteliers out there, even mindset shift that would make it just more digestible?
I think for me, any initiative we started had to evolve with my team members. It couldn't be I had to lead by example. I had to participate, but I couldn't direct everybody to do it. I couldn't force everyone to do it. I really had to get, the team involved on how we were going to accomplish it, because that provided the buy-in, that provided the excitement, the why, to help with the why, to make them proud of those elements that we were doing. You don't have to do everything. There's some properties that are LEED certified that go, to such a high level of impressive efforts of sustainability, but some properties won't be able to get there because of the physical footprint.
Yeah.
But the smallest of things, of even, reclaimed towels in the bathroom, to prevent, additional laundering and things like that. A simple start on that, and to celebrate the wins, and watch your, earmark your progress and celebrate it with your team as they're doing it. That's how you get the buy-in. That's how you build the long-term success of any initiative that you put in when it comes to sustainability.
I feel like you're inside my brain running around, and like, because I feel like I'm beating this drum constantly. If your teams don't understand the why, the how, and why they're so important to the mission, you're dead in the water, because they are the ones that are going to make it happen. And they're also your biggest advocates to convey those messages, right, to your guest and improve that guest experience.
And the feedback we get from them, what's working, what's not working, how do we make it better, improve efficiencies? And yes, absolutely. You have to have the buy-in.
That's amazing. Okay. So let's now move on to back to your career.
Okay.
Let's talk about what's been one of the biggest accomplishments that you're so proud of as a hospitality leader and a general manager.
I think for me, it goes back to a time when I was faced with having to reconcept a bunch of restaurants at the same time, 5 different outlets in a short period of less than 6 months, during an off season at a seasonal resort, and it really fell onto my lap to accomplish that. And not just reconcept, but we're talking about speccing uniforms, China glass silver, training, menu development, all those things, and to really take a step back and say, okay, how did I accomplish it? And the whole part of it is, it wasn't me. It was, I led, but I also had amazing individuals I surrounded myself with, specialists, people that were buying into it. My chef, my food and beverage team, my marketing team. We had a consultant come in to give us some ideas to get us going. And so it was all of those elements together that we got those across the finish line. And all of those concepts are still in place today at that resort. And I couldn't be more proud of what we accomplished, because it wasn't just about me. I mean, it was a full team effort for us to get all that across the finish line in one quick off-season period.
That is a feat.
Yes.
Yeah, congratulations for that. Okay, so we're moving into the end, what we call the folio.
Okay.
And so first, do you have a favorite guest story that really just captures kind of everything we've been talking about, the Noble House values, sustainability, your team, your leadership as a goose?
So we had this one guest, I inherited my father's memory. So I think it was about a year and a half ago.
Funny.
About a year and a half ago, we do a ton of weddings, wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners at the Pelican Grand Beach Resort, and we have ballrooms, and people love to do their ceremonies on the beach and so forth. It's a beautiful setting. But a lot of times, guests actually just stay with us, but they'll have their weddings elsewhere, and at a certain church or various things like that. So this guest had set up a beach ceremony, not in conjunction with us, but was staying at our hotel in a very small group of rooms. It was a very small, intimate wedding, less than 10 people, and it was raining, absolutely raining. And she, the company that organized her ceremony didn't have a weather backup. It wasn't showing rain, but it's Florida. It rains almost every day at some point or somewhere. So it happened. And so, typically we would, have our ballrooms, but everything was filled. It was a sold out weekend. But what we did is we took this little nook that we had in our lobby area called the piano room. And it's more of an oval shaped area. And we cleared all the furniture. We put some of we had gorgeous flowers throughout the property. So we grabbed those real quick, put them in there. We put down a carpet, and we created, her own environment right there for her in less than an hour. And we had her go get touched up and get refreshed, and we executed her wedding. We didn't charge her a thing. It was just, again, doing the right thing, making sure we turn that moment into a memory for a guest.
Yeah.
And everybody that was part of it will always remember the appreciation from that bride and groom and their friends and family that were with them was just unmeasurable. And those are the stories that we will continue to create And that's why we do what we do for those type of situations over and over again, without a doubt.
Lesson in pivoting and being able to think quick on your feet, right? And
You have
oh my
to in this
gosh,
industry.
a wedding. It started raining on my wedding too, but it ended up being fine. And we're still married. But anyway, okay, so thinking of legacy, right? I think hospitality is we do more than just create these memories. We really are creating a legacy for our surroundings, for the people that work with us, and of course, our guests. So if there was one note in your guest folio that really summed up what you want your legacy to be, either just in life or in your career in hospitality, what do you think that would say?
I would say life or hospitality, that the people that I have come in contact with or come across, whether it is guests, team members, leaders, that I help to improve their life, their environment, that I help to educate and inspire and build environments that people really celebrate and enjoy coming back to time and time again, whether, again, it's an environment of a friendship circle or an environment of a hotel culture or an environment within a community itself, that I've had some sort of impact to improve and make things better for those that are coming behind me.
That's a great legacy to leave. Okay, so last, do you have a dream getaway that you've got on your bucket list that you haven't been to, or just a place you return again and again?
It's always so hard. Everybody thinks we're in hotels, so we must travel all the time, and we've been everywhere, and that's just not the case. And I've gotten a small sample on a cruise a year ago of Greece. We had a couple ports, and I've been ever passionate to get back to Greece,
Okay.
right, since I've had just that inkling of a sample of it, and I can't wait to explore more. But that's probably the top of my bucket list right now.
We're in alignment on that.
Yeah.
Greece is on mine too.
Good.
TJ, this has been amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. And I can't wait to come see your hotel in person.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the rest of your day. The show is such a great way to connect with everybody, learn and grow and meet new people. So thanks for spending your time with us.
Thank you.
All right.
Cheers.
That was your Conscious Check-In. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and let us know who you'd love to hear from next. Until next time, travel deeper and stay inspired.